What's going on, guys? My name is Triforce Addiction. Welcome back to another COD mode video. So I have some pretty interesting news to discuss pertaining to Season 9. And yes, it's only been, 1.5 weeks since Season 8 has officially come out. And we've already gotten a lot of information regarding Season 9 and Season 10. Mainly just Season 9 stuff, but it is rather important. And it does explain a lot of things that the devs haven't taken action for in the current version of this game. So next month is, of course, October, which means we are obviously going to get a Halloween season. But what's actually very interesting about this is also the fact that we are getting a zombies change. And I'm not really that sure what's going to happen to the regular zombies, but there is news that Undead Siege is actually potentially going to make its way back into Season 9. So as per usual, they always release, certain pictures to kind of give us a hint on what's coming for the very next season. This is something that they do specifically a lot more with updates that are, I guess, seasons that include major updates. So this is the first thing that they released to kind of give us a hint of what's coming for Season 9. So it may not look like much, but it's, of course, a lot of jack-o'-lanterns in a graveyard, and that kind of obviously just signifies Halloween. I don't really think anyone needs to figure that out or actually even think about it. But if you do take a closer look, one of the tombstones actually says Undead Siege. It's actually the tombstone on the very front with the jack-o'-lantern on top. It says Undead Siege 2021 to 2022. But if you guys take a closer look on where it says 2022, you'll notice that it's scratched off. They want to keep it subtle without, just a normal person, taking a close look at it. Because any regular person looking at it on Twitter would see it and they'll just be like, oh, well, next season's going to be Halloween. But they wouldn't look further as to check maybe one of the tombstones to see if they say anything important. And keep in mind, this is not something new. Devs always do this, especially Scott Cawthon from Five Nights at Freddy's. And whenever he was showing off a new game, he would go post a photo on his website and have just a simple picture, but people would have to light up the image or anything like that to see anything that may have been invisible to the naked eye. And, kind of give more hints on what the next Five Nights at Freddy's game is. That's really the best example I can use, and COD Mobile is pretty much doing the same thing right now. So just in case you guys don't know what Undead Siege is, especially for the players that may not have been around during that time, Undead Siege basically was kind of like a sub-zombies mode. It wasn't a full-on round-based zombies mode. It was, but it only had 5 rounds with different waves of zombies, and you had to protect a device, or I guess this teleporter that I guess teleports you home, and basically just keep it at full health while you just hold off all the zombies that were coming at you. Of course, you would have all these sentries in place to at least keep the zombies more at bay. And of course, they had different difficulties. They had the beginner one, obviously, and they had the normal, and they also had the hard mode. The hard mode was basically the mode that was required to play on in order to get Ether Crystal. Basically, to unlock Ether Crystal, you kind of had to get a certain amount of kills with each gun. It wasn't really a crazy amount. You just had to get maybe 10 zombies kills with assault rifles or 8 kills with a sniper rifle. It wasn't really that difficult to do, but it was extremely long-winded because once you get those 10 kills, it only counts once per game. So you would have to kind of repeat that process. Of course, you were able to use different guns at once, so it wasn't just you using one per game. You could have used multiple versions of it. But yeah, that's basically what it was. And yeah, doing that with a lot of different guns did take a very long time. Although at the very beginning of Undead Siege, they did have this little double progression thing where instead of counting it as 1, it would count as 2, based on what weapon class you were using. Of course, that wasn't the case later on down the line, but Ether Crystal was expanded upon for guns that came out later after Undead Siege was released. So for example, the CBR4 or the M13 wasn't around during the time that Undead Siege came out, but eventually there was an update that allowed you to get Ether Crystal for the M13 and for any weapons that existed during that time. But really after that, they kept it around for a few more months and they just never did anything with it, so they just removed it and just added the normal zombies into the game. But when they added back the normal zombies, they didn't really do much with it other than just provide a battle pass so you could get nuclear fallout weapons instead of dark matter. So there is a chance, they could expand the battle pass once more to add more dark matter weapons. But I'm really unsure as to what they're actually going to do with Undead Siege. They have, there were these little obtainable things that you would get called Ether Crystal Shards or just ether crystals that you could use for, honestly, I kind of forgot what they were used for. I think it was for actually for like leveling up the battle pass and upgrading the turrets. But yeah, they kept it in the game ever since, and they've never really been touched or ever expired. So people kind of had this realization that there was an off chance that Undead Siege would come back. Most collectibles that you do get for certain events usually go away after a few seasons, but the shards never really did at all. So yeah, a lot of people thought it was going to come back at some point, and a lot of people have been wanting it to come back because Ether Crystal is pretty much like, well, I guess at this point it's probably the second best seasonal camo behind Fluorescence. But yeah, I mean, a lot of people have been wanting to grind out Ether Crystal again, and they really can't do that now, given that the mode is not available for anyone to use. But funny enough, there was actually a glitch when the original Zombies release, giving people the ability to actually play Undead Siege for, I think, maybe like a few hours before they patched it up. So yeah, it was there, like it made a slight comeback, but they didn't add Ether Crystal to anything, so it was pretty much the same one. People were just able to access it just for a little bit. So yeah, I thought I'd give you guys a little bit of a recap of Undead Siege, and I guess the history of zombies within these past few years. It's been quite uneventful for the most part. I mean, after they added Ether Crystal and those dark matter weapons, we never really saw updates again, and it was just there lying around until they removed it. So I'm hoping to see new things. There's a very high chance that Ether Crystal might be expanded for, you know, the newer weaponry, the ones that we currently see right now. So there is a chance that next season with the CX-9, we might actually be able to earn Ether Crystal on that weapon. So that's going to be pretty cool. And also, when it comes to the melee weapons, at least the new ones that we got recently with the butterfly knife and I guess the size, there's also a chance that if, well, I guess for any of you that may have gone Ether Crystal on everything prior, there could be a chance that they automatically just give it to you once we get the update. So that's something that we should actually look out for, just in case they actually do add Ether Crystal back. Or if anything, I'm kind of hoping that there's maybe a new camo grind, like a true zombies camo grind, but I highly doubt that. But anyways, that's all the current news for Undead Siege. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to leave a like, make sure to subscribe for some more COD mobile content. I'll see you guys next time.